with last night's win, even before tonight. But with last night's win, the Red Sox now have the highest winning percentage against teams over 500. And I thought the Red Sox couldn't beat good teams because that's what Maz and Felger and all the other media honkies say.
Well, yeah, I think they can beat good teams. I'm ready to get a little more comfortable with that. But I don't know that the Yankees, like the point I was about to make is they're a lot closer to the second wild card now than they are the Red Sox at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
And the A's are coming.
They are coming, and they're going to be. It's just whether or not New York can right the ship or Seattle can go on a run. Similar to earlier in the year. If that happens, ooh, that's scary. And I mean, Sonny Gray just seems to have lost his fucking mind.
You want to hear the oddly optimistic thing that's going to come out of my mouth?
Oh, sure.
The best case scenario, right? I don't like it already. It tastes bad in my mouth. The best case scenario is, and I think it's very possible, I texted you it the other day, but I wanted to say it on the show. There is a possibility that the A's catch the Astros and win the West because they are red hot right now and Houston is not healthy. And we have a Yankees-Astros play-in game.
Oh.
So your fear is that we end up playing the Astros?
Well, it's not necessarily a fear. It's just like I feel like that's the best case scenario. I mean, you get rid of one of them immediately.
Oh, true. Oh, best case scenario, absolutely. Yeah. And you mentioned that they're hurt. I saw a report today that Jose Altuve will see maybe a specialist or something, but he's got basically going to have his knee evaluated again. So a lot of uncertainty.
Springer possibly on the DL, by the way.
And he's what?
X-rays were negative, but that doesn't mean that Springer's not going to go on the DL. He hurt his thumb again today.
True.
Oh yeah, was diving for that ball today against that he missed. Yeah, I just saw that on ESPN Sports Center. So
yeah, he's that could be a knockout blow to winning the division anyway. If
they're
that
only 4 back right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that we've seen that A's team do some really insane stuff, the last decade or so.
Chris Davis looks like the hottest hitter in baseball right now. So, I mean, that's going to be hard to stop.
And the dude can mash. Is he?
And also the A's are 4-2 against the Red Sox this year, too.
Yeah. Well, the thing I fear the most is playing them in a wild card game. That's what I fear.
Well, the thing is that the Red Sox probably won't play the A's in a wild card.
Right. Yeah,
but we've seen them blow bigger leads.
Yeah, no, and you're both right. I just saying I'm a lot more comfortable playing them in a series than I am.
Absolutely.
And Manaea, well, if they win the division, Manaea could start game 1. If they win the wild card, which if the Astros do hold on or get their players back and then go on a run and then the A's get relegated to the wild card, then we could play them. But we're not going to play the winner of the West. So if that's the route the A's get in, we don't see them till the ALCS, and then we would play, let's see, the winner of the Yankees Mariners, and I would love to play the Mariners in especially with home field, because they, for whatever reason, don't seem to play very well on the East Coast. They might have got swept by the Yankees, and then I think we hammered on them when they came to Fenway. So
yeah, we split with them in Seattle.
Paxton threw a gem,
and the Red Sox won a 3-game series, took 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really favorable things, for the Red Sox right now, because the Yankees are just completely out of sorts. They're injured. They might have leadership problems.
And we do have to mention that, by the way. They didn't have their best hitter. And for all the Yankee fans, I know that they don't listen to this anyway, but for all the Yankee fans, they're like, oh, Gary Sanchez makes all the difference. Your catcher is hitting 188, can't really play baseball that well. He's not a very good catcher. At best, he's a DH, but Aaron Judge is the biggest piece that you're missing. Stop trying to tell me it's Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, Gary Sanchez is the most overrated player I've ever seen. I am friends with some Yankee fans, and one of them was trying to tell me that Gary Sanchez is an above-average defensive catcher, and I laughed right in his face.
You should have. You should have slapped him in the face.
Yeah. Well, he lives in D.C., so I gave him a virtual slap.
He's
Orioles, by the way, 44 games out of first place.
I saw that. That is insane. How do you get 44 games out of something is bad. I mean...
They're 44 games out of first place, and we are 45 above 500.
True. Which is good. Yeah, so that's bad. I mean, we're seeing a lot of history this year.
Good for them selling.
Yeah, and they still lit up Sonny Gray, so
yes, they did.
That was fun. I actually watched
smiling off the mound.
Yeah, what else could you do, and I would laugh if I were in that situation, but I'm an asshole anyway, as we know. So, let's talk about Chris Sale. I ironically said, and this was my immediate reaction to him going on the DL. I was like, well, at least Sale's not faking it. But maybe he is. He wasn't ducking the Yankees, though. I think we can all agree on that.
No.
Because he owns
He's
them.
as big a Yankee killer as Andrew is.
Right. So what's really going on with Chris Sale, Austin?
It's rest. I think that they're just trying to give him a little more rest, in my opinion. I mean,
especially with this lead in the division, too.
This is the perfect time to have it. Because if you give him rest now, right, we just saw what's happening to Severino. I mean, we saw what happened last year to Chris Sale. People don't learn. If you give these pitchers rest, skip a start every now and then, maybe skip 2 starts, they're not going to lose their rhythm. They're still throwing pitches. Mind you, it's not a game setting, but he's going to come back against Baltimore because they just said that they don't want him batting in Philly, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're coming off a quote-unquote injury, you wouldn't want your pitcher batting in his first game back. So what do? You throw him against the AAA Orioles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Red Sox used to do this all the time with Pedro, too. They would always put him on the DL with a phantom injury, whether it was a blister or whatever it was, his shoulder, arm fatigue, whatever, just so that he stayed fresh for the stretch run of the season in September and October. So I think this is exactly what the Red Sox are doing now with Chris Sale. And last year, John Farrell didn't realize that, and forced Chris Sale to get the Red Sox single-season strikeout record.
Well,
300.
I think there was a lot of Sale behind that because you could see he didn't want to come off the mound, and I just think when Alex Cora came in, I think they all had a heart-to-heart. They probably had some team meetings and said, look, this is the plan coming into next year, and we're not chasing stupid records anymore. We're worried about the big picture, and we're tired of other teams reaching that big picture. Last year it was the Astros and almost the Yankees, and so I think they're smarter, and that has a lot to do with it. So and it's funny because all season long I bitch about guys having days off. I'm fine with resting pitchers, especially because they more than anyone need rest. But all season long I've bitched about Mookie having an off day 2 days before a scheduled team off day, and my argument was that we're not the 2017 Houston Astros. We don't have a 14-game lead with the luxury of doing that, and we're kind of definitely trending in that direction now, ironically. But we were 3 games behind at some points, and we're resting guys, and I would just lose my fucking mind over that. And I'm all for resting Chris Sale at this point, and he hasn't To my knowledge, I mean, has he had an MRI? Has he been sent anywhere? No.
No. It's just clearly for rest.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's good. That's good. I mean, we're 9.5 games up. The potential to sweep Toronto is pretty good, and we're in a really good spot, and it's going to be fun to watch the Yankees collapse. Austin, you wouldn't happen to know who they're playing next, would you? Yeah. Did I lose you?
Yankees. Sorry, my bad. I was on mute.
Okay.
Yankees are playing the White Sox on ESPN tomorrow.
Oh, well, that's a cupcake series. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess just we'll kind of move on here, but it's just ironic that Cashman was running his mouth not even 5 or 6 days ago that we're the only ones who can beat the Red Sox, so it's too bad they can't play us more. And bam, 4 in a row. So he's
that should be the episode title. It should be episode 69, Damage.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And yeah, they definitely have an identity crisis right now. And I also saw something today that Judge was still experiencing pain in his wrist. So no,
it's the same injury that Bogey had. It's going to linger.
No timetable on him. So, and that could be. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he's out till mid-September. To be honest with you, I know they said 3 weeks, but wrists—that's like the worst thing you can fracture, because that's everything. That's your swing. That's your power. So.
Nomar broke his wrist after getting hit by a pitch, and he was never the same again. In terms of his power and his consistency, was never the same again either. And same thing with Bogarts last year. He couldn't hit a ball harder than 70 miles an hour in his exit velocity. So, those wrist injuries are really tough. They're literally the worst type of injury you could get for a baseball player.
Right, absolutely. Let's transition over to the Toronto series now, like we should have probably done a little while ago. We're getting... that's my bad. But I'm blaming it on being up almost 24 hours. So let's just get into that real quick. Brian Johnson, has he pitched against Toronto yet?
I'm not sure. I can look it up.
Yeah, he has, because some guys have 7 and 8 at bats against him, and I doubt that's out of the bullpen.
Is it for this year though? He could have pitched against them last year.
Oh, true. Yeah, that could be. So maybe he hasn't. And my big fear with him is that once a team sees him for a second start, might not go so well. I mean, you might see a lot of what we saw against the Yankees in that first game there where he gave up 4. Maybe not all in the first inning necessarily, but he could potentially get knocked around. He doesn't throw very hard, so I just feel like teams are going to, they're going to have some at-bats, and then they're going to have a chance to go back and review some video, and then the next time I'm just skeptical. I hope he proves me wrong, but...
Well, with guys like Brian Johnson, and there's not a lot of guys like him in the majors anymore because everyone's all about velocity and whatnot. But Brian Johnson is like a Greg Maddux type in that he doesn't really overpower guys. He relies on his location. So if he can locate his pitches well, I think he should be successful. But if he doesn't and he misses his spots, then he's going to get hit around some.
Right.
The good news is that they don't have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on the roster yet. So that's a positive. We escaped that bullet, and we don't have to be a part of his the start of his historic MLB career.
He could be Aaron Judge 2019, though, for sure.
Him and Bo Bichette next year with Gurriel are going to be one hell of an infield.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're going to be wicked.
Their rebuild is going to be pretty fast, right? or should I say
Yeah,
reload?
because their system's really good. But their system's not really good.